Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're gonna be counting down the top 10 moments in The Last of Us video game series. From emotional scenes to heart-pumping action, this game has had us on the edge of our seats. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. The arrival of Joel's brother. In The Last of Us Part 2, players are finally introduced to Joel's brother, Tommy. This moment is an emotional reunion between the two brothers.
Holy shit.
How you doing, baby brother?
God damn.
As they haven't seen each other in many years. The scene gives players a glimpse into the Joel's past and adds more depth to his character. Tommy's arrival also sets off a chain of events that shape the rest of the game's story. Overall, it's a memorable moment in the series that fans won't forget. Number 9. The Museum. In The Last of Us, Joel takes Ellie to a museum to show her what the world was like before the outbreak.
Ellie, be careful.
Climbing a dinosaur!
Yeah, I can see that. Just don't die falling off of one.
The museum scene is a beautiful moment of respite in an otherwise bleak game. As players explore the museum, they get to see exhibits of dinosaurs and space shuttles, and they even get to play with a dinosaur toy. The museum allows players to see the beauty of the world that was lost, and it's a touching moment between the Joel and Ellie that helps build their relationship. Overall, it's a memorable scene that adds depth to the game's story. Number 8. The Winter Chapter. The winter chapter in The Last of Us is one of the most intense and emotional moments in the game. As Joel and Ellie struggle to survive the harsh winter, players see the depth of their relationship grow as they depend on each other to survive. The chapter is filled with tense moments, including a brutal confrontation with a group of hunters. Throughout the chapter, players are tasked with scavenging for supplies and navigating through a dangerous environment. The winter chapter is a pivotal moment in the game that tests the players' skills and their emotional investment in Joel and Ellie's story. Number 7. Ellie's Revenge. In The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie goes on a mission of revenge to avenge the death of someone she loved.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
This emotionally charged moment has players on the edge of their seats as they watch Ellie take on her enemies with determination and skill. The scene is filled with intense combat and emotional turmoil as players see Ellie grapple with the consequences of her actions. Ellie's quest for revenge sets off a chain of events that shape the rest of the game's story, and it's a memorable moment in the series that highlights the depth of the Ellie's character. Overall, Ellie's Revenge is a powerful moment in the game that leaves a lasting impact on players. Number 6. The Hospital Scene. In The Last of Us, the hospital scene is a pivotal moment in the game's story. As Joel and Ellie make their way to the Firefly's laboratory, they discover a dark truth that threatens to tear them apart.
Don't waste this gift, Joel.
The scene is emotionally charged as Joel makes a decision that will change the course of their journey. The hospital scene is a powerful moment that tests players' empathy and moral compass as they navigate through a difficult situation. The scene is also notable for its cinematic quality and impressive voice acting, which adds to the impact of the moment. Overall, the hospital scene is a memorable part of the game that showcases the developer's storytelling skills and creates a lasting impact on players. Number 5. The Giraffe Scene. In The Last of Us, the giraffe scene is a memorable and touching moment that offers a rare moment of the beauty in a post-apocalyptic world.
So, is everything you were hoping for?
As Joel and Ellie explore an abandoned zoo, they stumble upon a group of giraffes. Players are given control of the Ellie as she approaches the giraffes and feeds them. The scene is beautifully rendered, and the moment of connection between Ellie and the animal is heartwarming. The giraffe scene is a powerful moment of respite in an otherwise bleak game, and it showcases the developer's ability to create emotional moments that stick with the players long after the game is over. Overall, the giraffe scene is a standout moment in The Last of Us that adds depth to the game's story and character. Number 4. The ranch scene. In The Last of Us, the ranch scene is a poignant and emotional moment that marks a turning point in the game's story.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you.
As Joel and Ellie arrive at the Tommy's ranch, they're given a brief moment of respite from their harrowing journey. Players are able to explore the ranch and get a glimpse of what life could be like if the world wasn't overrun by infected. The ranch scene is notable for its quieter moments of the character development and introspection, as players see Joel and Ellie bond with the Tommy's family. However, the scene is also a setup for the game's gut-wrenching ending, which tests players' empathy and moral compass. Number 3. The hospital basement. In The Last of Us, the hospital basement is a tense and emotionally charged moment that tests players' skill and endurance. As Joel navigates through the underground basement of the hospital, he faces off against hordes of infected and hostile human enemies. The scene is notable for its challenging gameplay and intense atmosphere, as players must be stealth and resourcefulness to survive. The hospital basement is also significant for its impact on the game's story, as Joel's actions in this scene have far-reaching consequences that shape the game's ending. Overall, the hospital basement is a standout moment in The Last of Us that showcases the game's immersive gameplay and compelling storytelling. Number 2. The Prologue. In The Last of Us, the Prologue is a powerful and heartbreaking moment that sets the tone for the rest of the game. The scene introduces players to the main character, Joel, and his daughter, Sarah. As the game's opening moments unfold, players witness the outbreak of the infection that turns people into infected, and the chaos and destruction that follows.
I got some notion.
Holy shit. You got blood all over
It
you.
ain't mine. Let's just get out of here.
This ain't half the people.
The Prologue is notable for its cinematic quality and emotional impact, as players are quickly invested in Joel and Sarah's story. The scene also establishes the game's themes of loss, survival, and the lengths people will go to protect the ones they love. Number 1. The ending of The Last of Us. The game's ending takes place during a brutal final showdown between Abby and Ellie. Players take control of both characters in alternating fights that lead to a tragic conclusion. Throughout the game, players have watched Ellie's descent into obsession with avenging Joel's death, and in the final moments of the game, she almost succeeds. However, Ellie ultimately decides to spare Abby's life after seeing a vision of the Joel and realizing that he would not want her to go down this path. Abby, in turn, spares Ellie's life and sets up to find a new purpose in life. The game ends with Ellie returning to an empty farm, leaving behind the life she had built with Dina and her son. Well, that's our list of the top 10 moments in the Last of Us video game series. This game has had us laughing, crying, and on the edge of our seats, and we can't wait to see what the developers have in store for us in the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Let us know your favorite moments in The Last of Us.